Think we're live. Oh, I should probably turn the lights on. It's probably important. Hello, everyone. We're con- we're gonna continue painting um, the Nurgle professionalism at its best. We're gonna continue painting the Nurgle Chapel. Uh, I saw that you just got your printer. That's awesome. Congrats. If you need any help, I mean, there's the Discord. There's a lot of people who can help. So I would recommend doing that if you haven't. It does like help to not have to Google search everything. Keywords are the hard part. Like you don't, everything's kind of new. So um, yeah, we have a lot of great people over there. So, but congrats, that's really cool. Um, yeah. So last yesterday, we, well, I guess, um, I basically stopped or finished painting the exterior. Um, I could probably do another coat on this thing. For some reason, it was repelling the paint, just to kind of irk me, I guess. And then we got to do all the painting for the interior. So I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick, and then we can kind of move on with our lives. So good stuff. I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Um, Today was a much smoother day for me, which was nice. All right. All right. So it's not as hydrophobic as it was yesterday, which is pretty good. All right. So I think that's kind of the last step for the exterior. I did do a bit of a wash yesterday, um, but we did that one on stream. I guess I don't have to tell you. I'm gonna just get these parts pretty bright. It will kind of help differentiate it from the yellow stucco or brick. All right. Cool. Hey Neil, how you doing? Correct. Let's restart the music. So, yeah, I think I could probably make some of these windows brighter. Let's do that while I'm here. Just really make them pop a bit. I'm only painting like the first third. Down here I might paint more because it's really in shadow. All right. Super cool. I had the realization that I have a lazy Susan on the drive home today, and I should have put this thing on this. I think that might, well, it might knock everything over in its path, but in theory, this is a good idea. Is this better? I don't know. It sort of helped, I guess. Anyway, all right, so now we got all of the interior to paint. I haven't really come up with the color scheme quite yet, so I think we might just kind of wing that together. I'm kind of leaning towards like a zombie green. Green's kind of my favorite color, but now that we've painted the exterior, the exterior is very green. So maybe painting it more green isn't the best idea. So yeah, purple or like a pink for all the flesh tones might be kind of nice, just to kind of contrast it. Or see, I don't want it to like overpower the entire 4-foot board. So khaki and beige, those are really good colors that I think might be good. And then I can kind of do the washes with the purples and the pinks to kind of accent it, so it's a little more bland, and then like there are hints of color, because this is like the most different thing on the whole board. I would hate to like overpower it, although I do. Okay, so here, let's go on a trip through memory lane. Last week, this building on the tower inspired this board a bit, just very vaguely. We were talking. I mentioned in this video for my fortress that the inside of the interior kind of was hinting at like a open wound, like the building was like dying basically. It was just kind of like an offhanded comment, but I think maybe doing it red, maybe not like super red, but maybe like kind of muted red might be a good idea. So maybe we start there and we kind of go into the beige, more of the pale colors, and kind of bring it back in with some of the washes. I don't know. Let's do that. I think that's a good idea. All right. So again, we're just using dollar store paint. And because we're doing it over a black base coat, it should mute the colors pretty significantly, which is the whole goal. So yeah. Yeah, color theory is pretty... It's a little highbrow for me. I'm not gonna say like I go into that all that much, to be completely honest. I think it's easier to stay within like boundaries if you limit your color palette. So I exclusively base coat all my stuff with black paint. That's gonna automatically mute every color I paint on my boards. And then honestly, I kind of started with a green paint, a brown paint, a white paint, and then a yellow paint. And I just started painting all my stuff with just 4 colors, and kind of being a little bit more creative in that way. Giving yourself limitations will automatically help you make color decisions. Kind of like my fictitious Mordheim HOA, all my roofs are green or slowly oxidizing brass. So like this, it's the HOA requires this building to be painted green. The roof is green, and it just makes decision making a lot faster, and you don't have to overthink it. That decision's been made for me since my first board 3 years ago, and then I can kind of remix that color every time with the same base coat, and it always kind of tends to work itself out. So yeah. right. I know this is gonna look bad for a little bit. The ugly phase is strong for projects like this, especially when you're doing something like really weird. This is pretty weird. And it's new, so I'm not really, like, I don't have like an end goal in sight or practiced. So just take it easy, go slow. Eventually it'll work itself out. Yeah. Yeah. I know this is only the first step, but I think this was a good decision to start off. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Here, let's switch over the cam. Wow, on camera that's really red. Holy cow. Yeah, black washes are going to go really far on such a bright color. Just kind of like the brick we were doing earlier. So, yeah. I'll see it's hydrophobic right here too. I don't know why it was doing that yesterday and now it's doing it now. This is a matte base coat. I don't know why it turned out so glossy. It's so weird. I went to Ace Hardware this time to get, because it's closer to my house, to get the like primer, and it was more expensive by like $5 each can almost. So I'm not going back. And usually I get like the really cheap can from Lowe's, and now I'm definitely gonna get the cheap can from Lowe's because it's just not working the way I want it to. Let's do this part too. I do have stuff oozing out the front and like the top areas over here, but right now I'm just gonna focus on the interior before I experiment with, I know that something that will work on the outside. So yeah, let's stick with what we know first and Then I can kind of move over. Holy cow, this is really red. This is a really good color for a craft paint from the dollar store. Well, all right. Well, that's crazy looking. But I think it looks good. So I'm gonna have to let this dry for a little bit before we move on. Because craft paint is pretty temperamental. So I'm gonna turn the fan all the way up, kind of like we did yesterday, and just give it a moment to kind of like settle and like harden. And then we can move on to the next step. So I was talking about it on the Discord just a little bit earlier today. Ideally, this build becomes a video in a perfect world. At the very least, I mention it in a video. Wow, that is so red on camera. That is ridiculous. Red is kind of a hard color to capture, but like, dang. All right, sorry. ADD moment. Anyway, yeah, so ideally this becomes a video. I'm really new to the whole live streaming thing, so I'm not sure how well I'll be able to use in the footage. At the very least, I just kind of mention it, and there's a bit of a montage, and then there's some nice close-up photos of the last of the final product at the very least. So yeah. Hopefully I can edit it. Last time I did a video live stream, I was able to kind of make it into a video, so in a perfect world, yeah, but who knows? I'm sure I'll mess it up somehow. I'm always, I would say probably more likely than something going wrong with the like video is I get interested in a new project and I switch and make a video about something else where I mention this. So that's probably more likely, I would say. Okay, ink, pallid flesh tones. You can get some nice brush effects. All right, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. My craft store is the Dollar Tree, and not like Hobby. Well, I do go to Hobby Lobby every once in a while, but so it's pretty rare and far between where I get to experiment with like some high-end brands like Winsor and Newton. But I mean, now that you mention it, I'll try to look out for it. So I think I did turn that off because I don't have a ton of space on my computer. But last time I edited a video, I was able to download it from YouTube, and then I was able to edit it down. I just don't know how well it is gonna, like, my camera work throughout this has been. And I'm also split screening it, so I don't really want to put myself in the video like this in that video, if that makes sense. So I'll have to like zoom in on the footage. Yeah, so there's just like little things that would kind of pet peeve me as a viewer that I don't want to put viewers through. Awesome. Congrats on the 1490 Doom game. I played that. I did play a game with my son, and it was really fun. So if he was correcting me on some rules. Actually, it's funny. So my son wanted to play a game of Mordheim, and I told him that he needed to teach me the rules of 1490 Doom, and he was able to do it, and he's 9. So yeah, so the game's pretty easy. He did need some help as far as like how the book is laid out and stuff like that, but overall he basically taught me the game, which was pretty cool. It's weird that he can know things that I don't. I don't know. I'm sure every parent kind of figures that out. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so I'll probably just speed, like, well, I want to edit it down a little nicer than just speeding it up, but yeah, who knows. Okay. It probably just needs a little bit more time. I'm gonna make a bit of a light purple, and I'm gonna mix in just a little bit of brown, just to kind of like mute the color a little bit. Or maybe I do a little green instead. That was probably too much, but we shall see. Alright. And I'll just kind of stipple the high spots with this color. Hopefully it kind of blends well. This looks really Stranger Things. If you haven't already, feel free to like the stream. It does help the stream kind of like launch off and get new people in. So I would appreciate it. Otherwise, you can decide whether it earned a like in a few minutes or so. We're just kind of chilling out and doing this stuff, so yeah. Dang, this thing is gnarly. Oh my gosh. My mom came by a couple days ago when I was doing this, and obviously she kind of like asked about like what I was doing, and usually I can like say, oh, it's just a building, but I couldn't really like give a good excuse of like a good explanation. You know, like gross stuff, and she's like, oh, interesting. So that was fun. I think she lost all hope in me. This is a lot gorier than I thought I would go. I might dial it back just a bit with some green. Just to kind of fight off some of the kind of gross vibes, but yikes. Oh well, I mean it's looking good, so it's hard to argue with that. With some of the bone colors that I put in, I want it to look not as like wet and more like dry and decaying. So that's the goal. I kind of need to swing it back the other way, rather than, yeah. Anyway. Alright. Yeah, this looks like really wet intestines. And I didn't, yeah, I need to kind of dull it out just a bit more with this next coat. With like a really greener, like dead look rather than a like living organism. But I think this will be a good base coat to start out with. And then I can kind of add more layers on it, and then it will kind of slowly dull out over time. So yeah, yeah, I don't want it to stick out too much like I want it to like still feel like it's a part of the board and not like so alien. Um, I think because it's still wet, it looks really like attention grabby, but it will dull out over time, and that's something I have to remind myself when I start doing stuff like this. So yeah, we'll let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll add a bit more green. Yeah, that's all right. Just need it to be a little lighter than this one. There it is. Need to let it dry more because the paint is mixing with the paint that I mixed here and doling it out. So yeah, I'm gonna let it dry a bit more. Oh, that's good. All right. Yeah, I like that. All right. Oh, can't see me anymore. So last year we finished reading the Harry Potter series to my kids, and so I'm really excited for the new Harry Potter like series. I don't. Uh, I would say that it's probably pretty obvious where I get a lot of my inspiration from, like Diagon Alley and all that stuff. Really grabs my imagination, and the concept art and the whole design philosophy for those movies is like something I really like. And there are some missed opportunities in those movies, mainly like the cringe parts that I don't really like. That they could improve on. So I'm curious, like maybe you guys aren't interested, but I'm really interested in that series. Are you, is anyone else, or is it just me? Some of their casting has been a bit questionable, but I mean, you won't know till it's. Oh, okay, all right. It's cool if it's just me. Some of the casting is a bit questionable in my mind, but I always like seeing the creative direction of a film, and there's so much room to kind of go off of, and that I think it should be really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm always intrigued by film. Yeah, so there's going to be an HBO TV show for the Harry Potter films. They recast Harry Potter. Um, it's like gonna be every book, but like in a film. Instead of one film, it's gonna have a whole season, and I I'm there are a lot of missed details in that. Maybe I'm getting too deep for people, but um, there are a lot of missed details in those films that I think they could improve on. Uh, One of them being, it took me till this last reading for me to realize, uh, like Snape is probably pretty young. Like Harry Potter's parents got married like almost right after they graduated, so he was like 20 or 25 or something when he like was doing all those awful things, and then he instantly regretted it. And I don't know, that makes, like, if someone's like 50 then and they're really set in their ways, like the age of Alec Guinness, um not Alec Guinness, Alan Rickman, um you go, okay, well that guy knew what he was doing. But if they're like super young, you're like, oh, okay, well there's plausible, like he just got swept into it. So I don't know, I'm excited for a little bit of the nuance to get through, but I know that probably in this community a lot of people don't like what's her face, Tolkien, not Tolkien. I can't talk. I think I'm gonna move on. No one seems interested except for me, so what's her name? Whatever. Rolling. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. All right, that's looking better. A lot less like bloody looking, which is nice. It's still like in there, but it's not like the blood look is still in there, but it's not everywhere, which is exactly what I want. I'd prefer it to look like purple, like ooze, rather than bloody ooze, because I don't want to like completely traumatize my kids when pulling this thing out. So yeah, I think it's looking good. A lot of this is like you just kind of you play around with it until you like it. So there's no like straight pathway, and I think a lot of YouTube videos really like just on the nature like the of the project is finished by the time they're editing it, and you gotta like try to market the video like you know what you're talking about, or people just a lot of the times they just click off. So you're like, oh, you've never done this before, why am I watching you? So that's kind of the instinct I think a lot of people have. Anyway, so like processes like this just do better on a like where we can do it together, and I can kind of show you like sometimes you don't have it figured out. And honestly, I don't think I shy away from showing it as much as some other people, but a lot of the times you just got to make it up as you go. Because people like who start projects like it's almost discouraging to be like, well, I always knew. Some people can know what it's going to look like, but and generally I had an idea, but you leave enough room and space for like improvisation, and that's all right. Like it's gonna work itself out. So through the process of creating something, you'll find that you've created something different. And that's okay. So, yeah. And a lot of the decisions I make, I've made like so long ago, like the shingles. When I'm putting down popsicle sticks and it breaks weird, I just let that happen, and I don't get like super fixed on this is how it has to be. Let the materials kind of dictate what the build looks like. Like maybe this side of the building would have been bigger if I had more foam core to work with, but I didn't, so I trimmed it down. And that honestly, stuff like that makes the build look a little bit more unique, especially when you're building a lot of something that looks similar to other things. So yeah. So is anyone else working on stuff, or what's your hobby looking like today? Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta wing it. And I think oftentimes the more I kind of like let other things make this decisions, the more I tend to like the things too. So ooh. I'm gonna have to let this dry a bit more to get this bright bone color I want. Yeah, I'm gonna paint them right now, but I'm gonna have to wait because the color that's on the bones right now is too wet for me to get the color I want. Sweet. If I were to ever do like an army, Black Templar have always been the one that kind of like jumps out at me, but or like Grey Knights, those look cool too. But I don't know. Sci-fi just doesn't really do it for me the same way fantasy does. I'm so far away from that. If anything, I'd probably do Necromunda before I do anything like really 40k. But I'm sure that was no mystery to anyone, so yeah, I have like 2 builds that I did really early on for Necromunda. I did a really tall build. It was like a water treatment plant or something like that. And it just never went anywhere as far as views went. And I showed it to my son because he's my gaming partner, really, and it did nothing for him at that time. I think if I did it now, it would do more for him than it did then. But he just looked at it and went, eh. And just it did not impress him at all. So I used it for some Star Wars 5e games, and then that was it. So. Yeah, I don't know, sci-fi in general, other than like Star Wars, but Star Wars is honestly more of a fantasy than it is Star Wars, like sci-fi, in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, this bone needs to be more yellow than red just to really stand out. So I'll keep going, but maybe I could put in more yellow. Yeah, that's all right. Kind of tunneled in right there. Sorry. um, I was really considering doing teeth and stuff like that. Um, at this point, probably not. I was kind of conceptually like going down the rabbit hole of like what I wanted this to look like, and I think the rib cage is more of the route I wanted to go rather than like I thought it might look too much like a mimic from D&D or something. I wanted it to look like the inside of a whale or something like that. Really gross. Like if someone's in here, they got swallowed. That was kind of the more the vibe I was going for. But I do like that idea. I was really close to doing it. So yeah, I definitely considered it. I was more thinking like if this thing was a body, a building is more like the wood is like the bones of the building, and so I kind of went down that rabbit hole from that angle. Like how would this thing stand? And then I kind of asked myself a couple questions, and then I think creatively like how do I make that look like it could be a thing? So if you're trying to come up with an original idea, asking yourself questions is probably the easiest way to do stuff like that. Giving yourself prompts for yourself to answer is a good way of like coming up with an original idea. And I think that's why ChatGPT and all that other stuff like works so well. Is like it's more of a conversation, so you can kind of go back and forth with yourself a little bit, and it's like eeny meeny miny mo. Like by the end of the first round, you're kind of like, oh, that's what I want to do. You don't really need to say the rest of it. So, or maybe that's a Southern California thing. Hopefully you guys understand that metaphor. Hey, Kit Bash Chaos. How you doing? We're doing something. Oh, you guys can't even see it. There you go. Yeah, this is right up your alley. I was looking at your video for your what's the warband called? Chaos Marauders, and yeah. Plenty of reference photos for some gross things. In a good way. Yeah. Yeah. Work's been great lately. There's some sarcasm in there. I think I'm gonna start painting this eyeball. And then I have this eyeball too. All right. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's been fun kind of experimenting with something different and making a building a little bit more unique. I'm hoping I don't traumatize my children, but other than that, that should be good. Yeah. I'm always surprised how like I don't know what to expect when starting a project, and I'm happy with this one. It's gross, and I think it's turning out pretty cool, so yeah. Yikes. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. I know you didn't come here for this Kit Bash Chaos, but he did come out with a new warband video for his channel, so go check that one out. It's a lot of fun. So, just to put you on blast there. I've been really enjoying his Warhammer Fantasy Army. It's really freaking cool. So if you haven't seen that stuff, go check it out. It was one of the inspirations for me starting my Nurgle Spearhead box for the Skaven, and it's really good. It's a really good video. Or, well, there's a lot of videos, but it's really good. So yeah, you got it, dude. We got to help each other out. Yeah. All right. I said I'm going to let this dry, and then I keep messing with it, so I'm going to actually let it dry now. Ooh, sweet. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, yeah, I'm going, it's I'm going to be working on something for you too. I haven't quite decided on what, but I'm gonna try to make it small enough for you and not something ginormous. But no promises. It'll be nice to make something and then ship it away and not have it lingering in this room for a long time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's nasty. Honestly, it's a good hack. Like this doesn't take that much space. It doesn't. It's just like 4 feet of like wall space. I'm happy to hook you up if you need something built. I'll have you can come by and pick it up. For the longest time, I played Mordheim on just a 2 foot by 2 foot board, and it works fine, especially with the verticality. I mean, you probably don't need like a 4 foot board. A 2 foot one that's tall, like not like super tall, but like, you know. Let's see. Not super tall, but you know. So just give me your wish list and I'll make it happen. Yes. Well, you have to come by. I'm requiring it. But I mean, we're so close that I mean it's probably we could do it any time. So it's just a matter of time before it happens. So, but I'm looking forward to it a lot. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna try. I'm like, not just try, but I'm gonna like make it a goal for me to go to Adepticon and Under the Dice Fest this year, so that we can hang out more. And like all the viewers, not just you, but yeah. Yeah, so we're just waiting for this to dry for a little bit, and then I can kind of do another coat on the bone, so I'm not just here sitting doing nothing. It's just a matter of time. Painting is hard to do on a live stream, like something this big, because I use pretty wet paint, so yeah, so just bear with me for a little bit while we kind of chat the time away and wait for this thing to dry. Yeah, that, I mean, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I finished my kit bashing my dwarf treasure hunters, so I think tomorrow, because this thing's gonna be done today, tomorrow I'm gonna start painting them or my Skaven, and I'll probably just put it up to you guys in the chat whether we decide whether to go either way. because I mean, I honestly could paint either at the moment. I'm equally excited for both. Excuse me. So yeah, should be good. Let's mix up another color. Alright, so I'm gonna start kind of blending from a lighter bone color to a darker one. Kind of wet blending it a little bit on the model. This will help it stand out on the parts that are poking out. And then it'll just kind of like gradually blend into like the body that is the building. Yeah, and I think that will kind of make it look a little bit more dying or whatever. I don't know. This is all just made up, so it's hard to like come up with terms to talk about it on the spot. When I'm editing, I can kind of be a little bit more picky with my words. So yeah. Am I missing any? I feel like I put more in here that I'm seeing, but maybe it just got eaten up by the expanding foam. I can paint this face upside down, like looking over it. I don't know. Probably not the best move, but Cool. Hey, thanks, Donald. Yeah, I think it's looking good too. Yeah. Looking gross, but it's looking good. Paint this eyeball now, just a little bit. And then I can let it dry just a little bit more. Before doing some other steps. I probably need to go to Five Below again and grab some more paintbrushes. The dollar store brushes just haven't been cutting it anymore. I used to only buy dollar store brushes. They just don't seem to last as long, which is kind of sad, but I guess you get what you pay for. So all right. Well, there are probably new people who haven't seen the stream, so let me turn this thing around. You guys can see the front. Yeah, so let's do that. Although you probably saw it in the thumbnail. We got some more stuff to kind of paint in this area. And even some stuff under here that are going to be kind of hard to reach, honestly, but yeah. A little bit of red and blue. Kind of get this started. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm planning to go to an event. Maybe Kit Bash Chaos couldn't go. In LA in August. It's, I guess, the Mordheim Quarterly. Something I've not gone before, so I'm kind of new to this whole thing. But apparently, it's going to be kind of like under the Dice Fest, but in LA. I don't know how big it is comparatively, but should be kind of cool. So I'm going to be bringing my whole 4-foot board there. So that should be pretty fun. It's on the 31st, so if you need a place to stay, dude, I got a place. We can go together. Yeah. No pressure, obviously. I mean, it's like right around the corner, so I get it. All right, looking good. Oh man. Oh well. It was worth a shot. Cool. Hard to reach this all the way across the table and not get in the shot. So I feel like I'm making it work somehow. There isn't really any there. I'll leave it to work. Alright. That's looking gross. Just as we planned. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of green in here and then kind of dull it out just a little bit. And we're gonna do another like overcoat of this. Just stipple it on. And hopefully it looks similar enough to what's inside. All right. Let's see, what do you guys think? The too pink. Hmm. I think it's too pink. Now let me put this down. I think it's alright. I don't know. What do you guys think? Good, bad? Bueller? Isn't it? Oh, sorry. All right. Well. Oh, there's. I missed a spot. All right. Yeah, I think that's looking all right. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Yikes. I think that little bit of red to kind of shadow it helps. Yeah, that definitely helps. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let me just touch up some of the green on this tower. Cool. All right, I think we're gonna let it set for a little bit. Put away some paint. I don't know if we're done yet. I haven't quite decided. I think I'm gonna let it dry just a little longer. There. Gross. Alright. Oh, yeah. You can really see the red is dulling down. It's calming down. It's relaxing. It's not as angry, which is exactly what I want. I don't want it to be like such a punch in the face. Yeah, it's looking good. I like it. I think with some green washes it will kind of help. Let's see. I think that's green. Where's my paint cup? I'm gonna add some dark green to thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna add some of this like forest green to some water in this like spray bottle, and then we can kind of shake it up. And then I did that using my already brown paint water. So this should be a good like muddy it up type paint or spray. Here, I can try it out right here. Of course, it's clogged, which doesn't help. It clogged. Where's my other one? I'll just switch out the spray bottles. Or the spray tip. Man, it walked away. Alright, well, I needed to let it dry anyway, so maybe I'll give it more time. Ugh, man, that's so annoying. Why does it happen? This stuff always just walks away. It has nothing to do with this mess, I promise. No, it does. um... Oh well. We're gonna watch paint dry for a little bit. I'm gonna sort through my paint. I bet it's in here somewhere. Fall? Alright, so just in case you're new, I do YouTube videos weekly, usually. I'm kind of switching the schedule up. I'm going to be trying to alternate, like, upload video and then a live stream every week at a bare minimum. Just for my own sanity, because I've been doing weekly videos for almost 3 years total now, if not more. I kind of lost track, to be honest. I just need kind of like a bit of a refresh. That's not the point of this live stream though. This live stream's happening because it's my 11th wedding anniversary. And so I'm not going to be able to get a video out this week. So I think it would be a fair trade to live stream every weekday for several hours, and then we'll like continue on that. I am going away Friday to on a trip with my wife, so I'm probably gonna live stream earlier that day if I get to it. But we'll see. That Friday stream's kind of up in the air, but we will be back tomorrow. And I'm not ending the stream right now, so we're gonna continue. I just need to find this extra spray bottle. So just kind of a review of the schedule, because I'm sure people are cycling in and out. So. And it helps when you like the stream, so other people can cycle in and out too. So I appreciate that if you like the stream, if you'd like it. So yeah. That's gonna bug me. I don't know where it went. I had to... Yesterday, the one I used yesterday, sprayed fine, and then now it's not. This one. Where'd it go? Oh, I found it. Alright, let's swap spray heads. Note to self, I have to go to the dollar store and get more of these. This is more of a rare item from the Dollar Tree. So hopefully this one still works. Yeah, all right. Back to business. So this is going to be a pretty good example of how this paint looks wet compared to how it looks dry. It's going to kind of reactivate the paint, and you're going to see a little bit more of it. I'm intending to kind of dull this down, and I want it to be wet so it kind of drips everywhere. So if it gets too dark, I can always repaint over anything. And then I need to get, here. I'm going to use this burlap to kind of take off all the high spots. You could use a paper towel, but this is what I have, so. Sweet. Cool. All right. Now I gotta let that dry again. So we're gonna hang out for a little bit. What UK city would I visit? Honestly, any of them sounds great. But I would probably say, as far as architecturally, I would love to see Edinburgh. There's a lot of reference photos from that. I know it's a little touristy, but Canterbury, that one looks really pretty too. And I mean, London obviously looks really cool. So there, I mean, the list is pretty long. It's hard to narrow it down, but there are a lot of places I'd love to visit. I need to renew that passport so I can get out if I need to. That would sound really fun. Obviously, my wife, she's always wanted to visit Scotland and Ireland, and that's kind of a bucket list place too. So I know Ireland's only half in the UK, but I would say that probably counts. So I would love to visit there, see some castles. It's crazy because I live in Southern California, so the oldest buildings here are like 60 years old in my area, or like maybe like 75, and so there's not much history going on, if that makes sense. So I went to Israel a while ago, and they were talking about like the history of their city and whatnot. And they're like, this is the young part, it's only 1500 years old, which is like older. It broke my mind a little bit. Like, nothing's new over there. It was really cool. Like we got to see in this archaeology this dig site for like archaeology. They unearthed like the first arch in history at the time of Abraham, you know, like Abraham from the Bible. They dated it around that time, and supposedly it's an arch he walked through, which kind of blows your mind a little bit. Like, I don't know. It was really cool. So, seeing the first arch in history kind of, I don't know. I'm a geek for architecture, so there was so much stuff. On the Temple Mount, there are like blocks the size of my house that are like the foundation for the whole structure, and it's just like people like us built that a long time ago. Like, you think you're all that and a handbasket, but then you see what people achieved back then, and you're just, it's humbling. So it was really cool. I like visiting places and nerding out about architecture and all that stuff. It was really neat. So yeah, I would love to visit. Let me know when you'll fly me out. Oh my gosh, dude. The Party City. Yeah, yeah, I went to a Bible college, and they had an off-site Bible college in Germany that was in a castle. And I've kicked myself every day since deciding not to do that semester. I should have just done it. That would have been so cool. The whole semester was in a castle. Like, all the classes were in. It would have felt like freaking Hogwarts. That would have been so cool. So, yeah. Oh well. That would have been a fun experience. But anyway, yeah. My wife, when we were getting married, I guess 11 years ago, we were talking about places we wanted to get married, and we were this close to like doing a destination wedding in Ireland. And I mean, no, the whole plan was like to just kind of do it and no one would show up. So, but that would have been a lot of fun. I've always wanted to go. That would be cool. Hey, Hanover. We're kind of just waiting for paint to dry, but it's looking good so far. So it looks like the inside of a dead animal. And I mean, I never know if I'll be able to pull things like this off, but somehow it worked. So there must have been something in this spray bottle that like clogged again. It's a little too bright for me. It's a little too different than the rest of the board. So I'm doling it down with some green paint, because that's kind of like the base color for everything that I've been doing lately. So I'm happy with it. I think it looks cool. It's very Nurgle, but it's like, oh, see ya, Kit Bash Chaos. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was really good. I'm happy that it's like yeah, my favorite. I'm addicted to finishing projects, and that's probably come across in all my videos because I get things done so quickly. But honestly, that's kind of the root cause for all that. Is I really like seeing things finished. And this is no exception. Whenever I finish a project, no matter what, I always feel happy about it. So I think just a little bit more drying, and then I can do a bit more pink on top of it to kind of look a little bit more like the outside here. I think that will kind of help even everything out. So yeah, I didn't want it to look so alive. I wanted to look like zombified a bit. So having the green undertone, but still have the bit of the red in there too, helps. So I did it. This is so different than anything I've done, so it is really satisfying to like see something work, and I'm happy about that. So and I can kind of clean up the mess. I guess we can kind of yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is definitely out of my comfort zone, but yeah, I feel like interiors are kind of always my weakness a bit. I'm always a little bit more hesitant with doing an interior, so giving a challenge on the inside is definitely interesting, and we might have to do a little more like this. Maybe we could do one for each, like each of the 4 gods of Warhammer Fantasy. We could do one for Tzeentch. I don't know how those look, but maybe we can in the Discord you can shoot me like reference photos for each one, or like Khorne. I don't know. We can kind of figure it out. Yeah, looks good. You want to see the saddest part though? When we put this center building in after all this is what you're gonna see. I want to redo this one this might be my next video, honestly. It might be a good way to kind of incorporate this building in that video too, but I've leveled up significantly since here, and it's been kind of decaying. Like the foam core seems like it's not, I don't know what's happening to it, honestly. I also use coffee stir sticks, which just isn't as stable as popsicle sticks. It flexes a lot more. It's just not as like structurally sound as some of my other builds feel, at least. Maybe they aren't, but they feel a little more stable. But this one just isn't like super playable either. Like I can't really fit my hands in places, and I think I could rework it a bit. But anyway, this is the one we were working on. But it's sad to like cover it up. Yeah. Let's see, what time is it? All right, well, it's 4 o'clock. I think I'm gonna leave it here because we kind of finished everything up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to do that. Yeah, I need to rewatch this video because I'm not sure I like Mod Podged or put a PVA glue on this stuff before I painted it. It's just like, it's like dusty. Like the dust clings to it, like differently than my other terrain. So I don't think I like built it properly. So I could reuse the same templates that I did with this one and just like see what I could do now compared to what I did then, which I think will be a fun video. So yeah. Well, at this point, I think I'm gonna call it there because I think right now is a pretty good stopping point. So we can kind of finish up the time with a couple questions or just comments or whatever. And then if there aren't, then we'll kind of end the stream. I'm really happy with how this thing turned out. It's pretty gross, but in a good way. I think yeah, overall I'm really happy with it. See you, Hanover. I appreciate you stopping by. If you're just dropping in, over the past several live streams we've been making this awesome build. I have several live streams you can look back on. We built this from start to finish, and it's a lot of like intricate details that I really will just walk you through. So if you are new to this stream, go check them out. And I have a ton of videos on how like each building on this board has a build video. So if you're not interested in watching, I don't know, like 16 hours of live streams, which is fair, you can watch one of those videos and I break everything down. Everything like the STLs are free on my Patreon. You can go check those out. And I like to make those free because Mordheim's a free game, and that's my favorite part about this whole community is like we're all kind of standing on each other's shoulders helping this community like make really cool stuff. So yeah, if that sounds something you're interested in, go check it out. If you need any help tracking down STLs, reach out to me on the Discord or in any of the comments of any video, like saying like, hey, what was that and where can I get it? So yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell because we're going to be live streaming tomorrow. And I think that's enough like go do stuff type things, call to actions. I'll just leave it there. Thanks so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one.